I went into business assuming things will continue. My business plan, no business plan ever projects losses, or that you will not even make 2 bob. There was no business plan like that. And that's when I had to face reality. But in that, I really started investigating my relationship with money, because it was not about not knowing. I knew. I could tell you which share to buy. Clients used to come and take me for lunch. Woohoo, Sheke, you told us buy Kengen. Kengen has now doubled in price. Let's go for lunch. I feel good. And sometimes with money, we start feeling good on the wrong things. Like that had nothing to do with my pocket. It was a big ego boost. Yeah. So when I didn't have it, I had to start looking at, where has this money been going? What is my relationship with money? Then I started having conversations with people you ignore, but that's when I started realizing what wealth is. If I came and drove right here in a Range Rover, what would you assume? And in fact, I made sure they dropped me upstairs here. The Range Rover is parked there. What would you assume about me? I have money. Yeah? But I learned the Range Rover has nothing to do with wealth. First of all, with money itself, it's the misunderstanding of the principles themselves. Yeah? So it's not just save and invest. Where is that taking you? And how does that actually work? But what else is going on in your life? Even before we start dealing with that, what else is going on in your life? That even, yes, you know how to save and invest, but sometimes you find I just don't have the energy. And even leave the expending of the money, it is now I don't even have, I'm so tired on Saturday. So even though you tell me go where to look at property, I just don't have the energy. I don't know if anybody has ever had that experience with anything in the finance where they just assume the person making the decisions is not you. And I think that for us women, that's what we go through. There's sometimes the undermining that it slowly eats away at your confidence to manage what, by the way, by nature you are actually very good at. But it eats away, it eats away, it eats away. So at first I was like, okay, no. Then I know there are all those beliefs that maybe I shouldn't, maybe it's the right thing to do, maybe this is what submission is all about. And that one day I just blew it. I told those guys, if you ever do this again, I'm leaving this bank now. They changed. So all those things ran away. But I was like, over time, I'm just like, actually, where you feel, have you guys ever felt it? You feel there's something wrong, but you don't know how to articulate it. Yeah? Then on top of that, you're just going through life. So we say children, but maybe there's stuff going on with your children. We're just talking about those of us in teenage years. Sometimes wish we had diapers. I wish it was a diaper. Sometimes I wish I could just put him back in a diaper. Yeah? And say bedtime is at 6. That's it. There's relationships. There's so much you're actually carrying. So another reason, apart from just money, I'm having this conversation is, I think it's Elizabeth who had a podcast I did called Life and Loss. And that day, I was just going through life. You know how life is just hitting you on so many angles. And I was not going to record the podcast. But I said, I'm just going to talk like I'm doing therapy for myself. I didn't even think anybody would listen. Out of all the episodes in that series, that was the most listened by both men and women. So in life, people are grieving something. Are you grieving something today? It could be financial loss. Yeah. It could be something is draining the system. And when we don't accept it's draining the system, what do we try to do? To put on our makeup and continue. Let's show up and continue. Yeah. And I tried to do that for a while. Yeah. But this is what I learned. First of all, you are not the problem because you're going through a loss. And it could be sometimes even a financial loss. Even sometimes the loss may be your fault, but it is still a loss at the same time. Yeah. You've got to start feeling the loss, because if you don't accept to feel the loss, understand what the lesson was and move forward, you will always be stuck there. And then the problem with that is it becomes the filter through which you see your life.